Come on.
Everybody continue to pray. Awesome Lord.
Oh, heaven, sweet heaven, how I long for thee. When will I ever get there?
Yeah, Lord.
I've got a Father.
Yeah.
I long to see.
Oh, I long to see him.
He's gone to heaven to wait for me. Oh, heaven, sweet heaven, how I long for thee. When will I ever get there? If you get to heaven before I do, tell my Father, Lord, I'm coming to. Oh, heaven, sweet heaven, how I long for thee. When will I ever get there? I've got a Savior I long to see. He's gone to heaven to wait for me. Oh, heaven, sweet heaven, how I long for thee. When will I ever get there? I know most of us are hoarse and plugged up and everything that comes with wintertime, rainy, cold weather, but we're just trying to serve the Lord here. Just trying to serve God. And I don't know where else I would turn to if I didn't have Jesus. He's very real to me.
Amen.
He's the best friend I've ever made. And I'm glad that the grave couldn't hold him. Because as the writer wrote, as Paul wrote, and he said, if the resurrection's not real, I'd be of all men most miserable. Because if we only had confidence in this life, we'd be of all men most miserable. Because look around you.
We know what this world is.
Look what life brings. It has its peaks of fun and joy, but they're short-lived.
Very short.
Time does not wait on anybody. And death is not a respecter of persons. Sickness strikes the young and the old.
Yes, it does.
So let's continue keeping our hearts set on the Lord, and let's try not to let this world distract us. Now listen, because it does. Why the devil, he works like this. The devil comes through and he waters down, listen, the doctrine of men.
Yeah.
The devil will come through and he will water down and listen, and he'll give us religion and religion abundantly and tell us that if you're religious, listen, then you're okay.
You're all right.
You know what? I hear them say all the time, well, this one's a believer, that one's a believer. Listen, the devil's a believer today. People, listen, just being a believer, you can believe in Jesus, but if he don't believe in you, you got problems.
That's
today.
right, yeah.
Listen,
He knows your heart.
Just like why Jesus, when he talked about John the Baptist, why? Because we know that John brought something different.
Yeah, something
Sure
different.
did. He was introduced.
You just pray
Yeah.
just for a minute at a time. If God will bless me, I'll preach. If he don't, I might as well take my seat
Bless the Lord.
today here. But you know what? When Jesus referred to John there, why he said, why went you out to sea? Did you just go out to see a reed shaking in the wind? But listen, but there was something different about that man.
Yeah.
Why? When John was full of the Spirit, what he and this world, why it didn't understand the Spirit of God, because the things of this world, the friendship of this world, Larry, is enmity with God today. Oh Lord, why? And I'm afraid that listen, you can make friends with the things of this world, why, and serve God at the same time. It just don't work that way. But I'm afraid that listen, this world's trying to get the things of God to conform to the world. Listen, people, not everything's all right. Listen, just anything don't go today. But oh God, why they came to my Lord one time, and I want you to think about this. And they came to him and they said, why don't your disciples wash their hands before they eat? Why they don't follow the tradition of the elders. You know what? Guess what? There's not really much in the law about washing hands. Moses didn't write about that, but they developed a tradition. And you know what it was? And it was a silly tradition. They had to hold their hands up, and somebody pour water on them, and then they'd hold their hands down, and somebody pour water on them, and then they could wash a little bit. Listen, and they held that tradition more than they held the Word of God today. People, look around at your churches, look what's crept into them. Oh God, listen, and you know what you need to have church today? You need 2 or 3 of, listen, God's children. Listen, to gather together, and you need God's Spirit. Guess what? That's all you need today. Oh God, why anything else you want to add is just like the tradition of those elders. It's foolishness today. People, listen, you can't add to God's Spirit today. And why does the Bible say why that God, and listen, the Lord said His word would go out, listen, and it wouldn't return unto Him void. It'll accomplish that what He sent it to do, people. And if you try to add to that, you're just hindering the worm. Listen, let's not fool this neighborhood around here. Let's not tell them, well, here's all you gotta do. Come out to church. Come up and we'll pray for you. We'll take you down here and baptize you. And then you'll be all right with God. God, listen, why does the Bible say, when they came to the Lord with them, and they complained about his disciples not following their tradition. Listen, he said, why do you also transgress? Listen, the commandment of God by your tradition. Oh, people today, don't you know broad is the way, listen, wide is the gate that leads to destruction. Listen, there's one little narrow way to heaven. It's a little single path file, and my Lord's on that way. He is that way. Listen, you're going to get to heaven, or you're going to do it on His terms today. Oh, Lord. I worry about, you know what I've said many times, when somebody wants to talk to me about the things of God, you know what I find? Usually the first obstacle I've got to overcome is talking religion with them, because since this world's full of religion today, listen, there's a lot more religion than there is salvation today. Listen, your religion, they come and go. Listen, your religion, listen, you may be able to take it off like your jacket and lay it down, but I'm telling you, when my Lord dresses you in salvation, you'll not be taking it off. Oh, Lord. Like Jesus said, ye hypocrites, well did Isaiah prophesy of you, saying, this people, listen, draweth nigh unto me, why with their mouth, and honoreth me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. Listen, but in vain they do worship me. Listen, he said, in vain they worship me. Oh, Lord, let's not worship in vain today. Listen, teaching for commandments, the doctrines of men. Oh, Lord, people, listen, you know what? When we prop up this world, we teach them to never fully surrender their hearts to the Lord. They just go through the motions, and you'll be all right. I'm telling you, if you've never got down at the foot of Jesus, and if you never got it to the point in your life, listen, where you said, Lord, I give it all to you, God. Take my life, Lord. Oh, Lord. Listen, if you've never been there, you better get on your knees today, because you got to surrender your life, and you got to surrender your heart today. Oh, for out of the heart proceeds, listen, out of the heart proceeds evil thoughts and all those things. He says these are the things which defile a man. Listen, but to eat with unwashing hands, listen, defileth not a man. Oh, and you know what? Neither does washing your hands justify you. You can go through all those acts you want to go through, but here's the good news. aren't you glad today? And then, why you don't need me to get to heaven? Aren't you glad today? You don't gotta bring you a $10 bill and lay it up here. Aren't you glad? It's
right.
between you and God
Yeah,
today.
it's
Oh, Lord. Listen, just like Larry, I love to hear you preach about. Listen, laying in your floor, in your garage. Listen, right on. We had many a church service in that little garage, didn't we? Oh, and I bet, listen, that day when you laid down there, you never would have pictured a little church, a little church growing out of that garage. Oh, Lord, I took a man one time, listen, that I worked with. We was having church service in Larry's garage. Listen. And you know what? And I took a man from work to church there, and I thought, he's going to think that we're crazy. We don't even have a building. We're having church out in your garage there. We just put up fold-up chairs. Listen, and we had church there. And after church, you know what? We was walking out to the cars. He hadn't said a word, and I was wondering about it. And I said, well, did you enjoy church? And he went like that. He said, now that's praying, brother. Oh, Lord. Son, if you'll lay your heart down to my Jesus, he'll be there for you. Ain't no wonder. You know what? You think about old Joshua, what he faced there. He was one of those spies, wasn't he? That went over and listened and spied out the land for Moses there. He brought back a good report when most of the others brought back an evil report. And they was afraid, weren't they? They was afraid to step out on faith, weren't they? Oh, Lord. But Joshua, he outlived them all, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Him and Caleb, listen, they outlived them all because they trusted in the Lord. Why? And I think about that. He stood against the multitudes. He stood against what was accepted, didn't he? Why? And when he come down to leave this world, what did he say? He was already an old man, and he knew his time was up. And he said, but choose you this day whom you're going to serve. As for me and my house, we're going to serve the Lord. Listen, people, do you have Jesus on your bum? Why are you ready to leave this world? Are you ready to go? And when you leave, will your family, will they be able to gather around? Listen, will they be able to say, Lord, it's in your hands? Will your family, will they be able to just lay over on Jesus' breast? Listen, and lay all the worries there when you leave this world. Listen, I was sorry to hear about Sister Spicy Jean, and that's all I ever heard her called. You know how Southerners are. It's always a first name and a middle name. All I ever knew her by was Sister Spicy Jean. From the time I was that big, but you know what, my Lord, He's made a way. Why, it's not the end, people. We're just here for a little while, and then we're going home. Listen, and that forevermore. Sometimes I'm just ready to go. Sometimes, Brother Ronnie, when things seem to get a little rough here, it just makes heaven a little brighter down here. Oh, Lord. People, you know what? And don't take this the wrong way, but I'd love to be able to preach Sister Spicy's funeral. I'd love to be able to stand over her and preach Jesus, because that's what I would preach to the people. You know what? That's the way. If you've never been in an old regular Baptist funeral, listen, it's just like this right here. We have church, but we just have our loved ones laid out, and we preach. You know what? My mom's already gotten all of her funeral arrangements laid out for us. You know what? I hope you're ready for church, because she says, I want 3 full church services over me. She said, I might have some family there that don't know Jesus. And she said, so when I leave, I want to be at my church. And she said, and I want church there. I want you boys to preach to them there. Listen, people, my Lord is real. Jesus is real. He is my shepherd, and I shall not want. Talk about leading me beside the still waters. How calm He makes the raging sea. I know this world don't understand what we're talking about, but people, it's real today.
Yeah, it is.
My Lord's real. Trust in the Lord and do good. Son, so shalt thou dwell in the land, and thou shalt be fed. Why? Listen, are you hungry today? I just lay it in the hands of Jesus. He'll feed you on the inside. And listen, and that's the best food. It's the best food you could ever have.
Amen.
So thankful that that's the way that it works. Brandon, you feel like speaking a few words? Whatever you want to do. The Bible says, trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge Him, and He shall direct thy path. Be not wise in thine own eyes. Fear the Lord, and depart from evil. This world's so full of self-righteousness.
Dear Lord.
I'm telling you that my ways will not get you to heaven. And at the same time, your ways will not get you to heaven.
That's right.
But just the ways of Jesus. If you want to get you into song ready, we'll bring it to a close. But you know, Chad sings that song that we lined this morning about that when a pilgrim leaves this world, the beauty of it. How many times have we been able to witness those things? And how many times have we been with the loved one when they leave this world? Listen, and the joy that listen is mixed with the hurt there. I'm glad though that we're able, with our last breath, I believe we'll be able to see the Lord, even when we can't see our families today. I've seen it time and again. I know when my own grandmother left this world here, and she was 94 years old. Larry, you've had many a dinner with her over there, and we had many a home meetings. The first time I ever made the offering to preach in my life was in her front yard. Listen, you think about that. I bet I didn't stand 2 minutes the first time they put me on. Listen, you know what? When cancer had eat her up, and she was at home in bed, while the son and her children gathered around, and she was struggling a little bit. Listen, and you know, you've heard me talk about my Uncle Paul, who died just the other day, a preacher up in Ohio. He was there, and they sang a couple of songs, and he got down on his knees. Listen, with Mama's children that was there, and they got down and he began to hold prayer there, and the sisters began shouting while they were on their knees there. Listen, and when they came up off their knees, Mama was gone. She took her little flight home, Larry. Listen, somebody must have heard that prayer. Listen, and said, come up a little higher. Leave those troubles behind. Leave those worries behind. And you know what? She weren't up with cancer. Listen, when she got home, she had been a widow about 30 years when she left here. People finished raising her 6 little children that was still at home, raised them by herself today. And you know what? Just before she left, I could talk to her, and I'd ask her about Papa Jonah. You know what? And she would start to cry when she talked about him. Listen, people, but you know what? Why we're all going home together. Listen, I'm going to see Sister Spicy. I'm going to see my Mama when I get home. Today, are you ready? Do you have somebody waiting for you over home? I know you got Jesus, but you know what? We're going to be with our family. We're all going to be family when we get there, Larry. Aren't you glad? You go ahead and sing. The church door's open. This church don't save anybody. But listen, but this church, God give us this church so we can fight the warfare with. And we need all of God's children to join together and fight this battle. Let's show this world who we stand for. Let's be like Joshua. Let's not be afraid